Welcome to Navigating Hope, your compass to health empowerment. I'm Dr. Jaime Hope, steering you through healthcare, overcoming overwhelm, personal goals, and emergencies. We'll navigate the healthcare maze with actionable insights and real-world advice, unlocking the secrets to a healthier, more vibrant life. Join us to take control of your well-being and make informed decisions for your health and your future. Stay with us as we unravel the mysteries of medicine, wellness, and life's unforeseen challenges, helping you bypass the ER with a dose of knowledge. Stay tuned till the end of the episode with a recap of your actionable insights and a free gift. Let's chart a course to your well-being together. All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Navigating Hope. I am so excited to be here today with fellow Michigander, Naomi Riley. She is a brain injury survivor turned influential motivational speaker, and she's dedicated to mental health and education reform. She has the 10 pledges that encourage school-age children to practice compassion, stand against injustice, and support their peers during crisis. I'm so excited to dive in. First of all, it was 2017, you experienced this very traumatic event. Can you just walk us through what that was like?
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. So yeah, in 2017, it wasn't the best year, let's just say. It was around the holiday season, and had dropped my kids off for school and the dog off at doggy daycare and was just headed back home. And unfortunately, so many during the winter months and all over the place, I was hit by a distracted driver and they didn't see me coming. And I was traveling about 45 miles an hour with a pretty good size SUV. And I'm thankful for that SUV because I had a brain injury. And I just remember looking up at the hospital room ceiling, thinking, oh Lord, why am I here? Why did you leave me here? Because I knew at that time something was wrong with me. I couldn't talk right. I couldn't put my sentences together right. I couldn't comprehend things, and I was tremoring so bad. And so 9 months would go by where I would have to go into rehab and understand like my new normal. I would go through the brain injury and concussion clinics and pain clinics and things like that because I had not only a brain injury, but I had other injuries that would stay with me for my life now. I think at that time, though, I was so upset that someone could take away my freedoms that I took for granted so much. And at that time, I was so determined, like I wanted to fix that problem. When I was better, I was going to fix that problem. And so 9 months went by and I went through a lot of mental health crises, almost just, it was internal that I was going through because I would make one leap, or let's just say I would move one needle forward, and then I would have 4 steps back. And it was so frustrating, and it can become so frustrating when you have an injury or an illness or something bad happens to you. It's perfectly normal for us to want to regress and to not engage or do anything. And so there was a part of me that was embarrassed for what had happened to me. There was a lot of different things that I went through. And I took that. After 9 months, I was finally diagnosed with what I will have for the rest of my life. But I took that and I just kept using a lot of prayer and things that I felt were super important during my recovery to help our society move forward in a more positive direction.
And I think it is so inspiring and fascinating how you took your pain in this very challenging journey and made it into this purpose. Some of our listeners have gone through or are going through, a health journey like yours, and some have family members who went through it. I was wondering if you could tell me about the support system around you and how it affected them, so those listeners who are caregivers can also learn.
Yeah. So, at the end of the day, it is so hard and I'm not making light of it. It is so hard for the injured or someone that has gone through something to keep moving forward. Yes, my support system was amazing. In Grand Rapids, Michigan, we have an amazing rehab hospital and recovery. One thing that I would recommend is getting your loved one into some type of social group to help them. It is so important because they will be able to connect with others that share that journey. Even if you can't do it physically, then maybe you can do something online, but it's so important to connect. My recovery was difficult. And at the end of the day, I started practicing gratitude. I'm a very faithful person. And I would always ask God every single day, if you left me here for a purpose, please share with me, or please direct and guide me, use me as your tool so that I can share your message with others. And it takes time, but everyone's journey and what they go through is going to become someone else's story. And looking back now, I'm like, oh my gosh, wow. Yeah, it did take a long time and it was hard at times. It was really, really difficult. But I started practicing gratitude. So that was really important.
Yeah, no, oh my gosh, gratitude is so important. And you said the social connection. Were there any specific people in your support hub or even fellow survivors that stuck out along the way that helped get you to the next step?
Yeah, no, there was, to be honest, no, there wasn't in my immediate network, there were not, but there was amazing support systems that helped me go every single level on cognitive, physical, and pain wise. And so all of those support people were there for me for that 9 months to just really say, hey, we got you. We know and we believe in you. But I was very good friends with the pastors in my community and was very involved with church. And I remember my pastor, like our pastor's wife would come and pick me up from rehab and just have those people that would just be like, it's okay, you're going to get through this. It's going to be okay. Because it can be a touch and go for some time, but just do what you have to do every single day to move your needle forward just a little bit more. Very, very fortunate that my neural pathways they were recalibrated pretty easily. What I did was I got rid of any distractions that I knew were going to make it harder for me to excel forward. And that's one thing that I would recommend to anyone that's struggling to just get back to where they were, or if they want to move forward, is get rid of those distractions. Make sure that you're focusing in on the things that you need to focus in on to move your needle forward, whether it's the goals that you have. And mind you, my goals were like, I need to remember how this story goes, right? In the beginning, I had to remember how certain story structures went. I had to remember how to do left in front of right. Those were really important to me back then. And it does take time, but over time, your brain's going to remember and you're going to start moving those needles forward.
I love it. I think it is very inspiring. So it doesn't seem overwhelming. Each little step to move that needle forward and strengthen those neural pathways is just each time it does matter. It does make a difference.
Yes, it's crucial, regard of what one's journey is or what you're going through and personally, because we can all go through these hills and valleys. I mean, not what any of us are. I don't think I've met one person that has not gone through some struggles. I think that's why we're all here a little bit. But it's how we get through and navigate through those challenging times that makes us stronger individuals to move forward and share our stories.
It does. And now you're using that not just to tackle you. It would make sense if you said, okay, I'm going to tackle just distracted driving.
Mhm.
But instead, you looked at
Yeah.
what are the all the big problems facing society and how can I help? So that's a big step. Tell me about how that process went for you.
Yeah, okay. Here I am in the hospital. And I was so frustrated. And mind you, my uncle was killed by a distracted driver 1 month after my car accident. So I had really like harsh, I'm gonna fix this. But I kept seeing in my recovery, I would see the problem that our society deals with gun violence. I would see the problems that we deal with discrimination. I'd see so many things that our poor students are faced with. And so I thought, my brain at that time thought, wouldn't it be great if they had a safe space that they could go to learn about their country's biggest dilemmas? They could see the statistics that their country faces. They could be provided with curriculum to help protect themselves and others, as well as make sure that they're provided with an app that where they can reach any single emergency hotline that they might need in a crisis state. And so that was my brain back at that time. Now, did that happen? No, absolutely not. It was a huge hill and valley and hill and valley and hill and valley. But what I first started doing was interviewing with judges and neurologists and ENT workers and people that are first responders. And so through that, I made all these great connections and collaborations, and I would get everyone's feedback, right? And I would ask, what do you think about this? How would you do you think kids would benefit from this? And the overwhelming answer was absolutely. I think that we as a nation and society overall want some of these issues to be diminished. So I wish I could say I came up with this all by myself. Yes, I was a mastermind behind the idea, but I have an incredible team that helps keep things together and helps develop great curriculums and keeps our everything going in a positive direction.
Well, and that's the beautiful theme in your story. Even though sometimes it's one person doing some of the work, it was your village that helped you recover. You're encouraging other people who are caregivers to utilize that and even to bring this exceptional 10 pledges into the world. It was
Yeah.
a team.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, so our curriculums just became available not too long ago. We had been creating them over a year in, I guess, in the works. We started them over a year ago, and our minds get together and say, hey, what do you think about this? About kindergartner level? How would they want to know about distracted driving? I absolutely love because kids are at my heart and they're my favorite type of people. They're so unapologetic and they just speak from their heart all the time. And so I thought, well, wouldn't it be great for a kindergartner or first grader to say, oh, this is distracted driving. I can tell mom or dad to put the phone down, you know? And some of these topics, they've been taboo topics. We haven't really talked about them in education or they've just been things that we've allowed to happen by no fault of our own, the growth in society and evolution and all these things, but there are repercussions and unfortunately, people lose their lives a lot to a lot of these different issues. So yeah, over after the fifth grade, if students are involved with our program, after the fifth grade, they're allowed to take a text pledge. And that's where they can take a 10-in-1 smart pledge saying that they're going to know the signs of distracted driving. They're going to know the signs of discrimination, acts of violence, bullying, and cyberbullying. But they're also going to know the signs on how to raise their mental health, become more emotionally intelligent to the world around them and each other so they can protect each other more. And then animal rights and the environment, because those are so important as well.
In short, all of those things, the ecosystem we need
Mhm.
socially, physically, emotionally, mentally to create a better and safer world.
Yes. Oh,
And
for sure. Yeah, we know over time that these issues will diminish over time. I was just speaking with someone this morning on what is the long-term goal. It does take time, but if we're sharing with the kids at the youngest levels, they're going to be like, oh, I know that's bad. I know I got to stay away from that. And so, if we can kind of just show them, hey, we made some mistakes along the way, but we're going to correct them for you. I know that our nation really, our statistics will go down. And our goal, Text Pledge's goal, is to do these do this for every single nation. So whatever a nation is struggling with, whether it be distracted driving or it be discrimination, whatever it is, we want to help share with the students the statistics, then provide them with information, and then provide them with all of their emergency numbers that they need in a crisis situation. It's not that difficult. It's just a new approach.
Well, I like that because sometimes we have just an information-based education system, right? Like, okay, here's the stats. That's when it can feel overwhelming because the next question is, so what can I, as one person, one child, what can I do about that? And so tell me about some of the kids you've worked with and how did they respond to this?
Yeah, so it's a lot. So what I love are the kids that have been involved with our program, and they say it is fun. We do make everything fun for the kids by helping facilitators. If they want, they can launch a student safety summit. So, excuse me, they make it fun for the kids. So they are learning, hey, these are the signs of distracted driving. This is what we can do to avoid them. But at the end of these 6 weeks, you're going to know all these tools, but you're also going to know that your mental health is so important. Our mental health plays a huge part in every single aspect of our day. And so how we engage, we interact, and we influence or any of that so matters so much. And helping students get in alignment with who they are, that is really key too. And so when I talk to the kids, I'll be like, I'll give some examples and I'll show them like, hey, Sally was just bullying me and she was just telling me like, I didn't look right. I was ugly to her. And so you're like, I'll use that example and say, just by a show of hands, do I look ugly to you guys? And they'll all be like, no. I'm like, it wasn't, but I said, I showed that how Sally made me feel was absolutely awful because she put something on me that really wasn't fair. And my mental health was affected that way. But I went to all of you kids and asked you, how do you think I look today? Do I look ugly? And they're like, no. Okay, so you made me feel better. And so my emotions went up and down because Sally came and she made my emotions feel something. Okay, so emotional intelligence is rising above all of those emotions that people can throw at you. And so that's what our books share with the students, how to rise above these emotions that we can get from other people, even though it's not our fault. Sometimes they throw emotions this way or that way, and it's not our fault. That's not a problem with the person that has been bullied or told something. It's the problem would be the person that has done that to them. It's our impact, our influence, our impressions that we make upon others. Now, will I think of Sally the same way? No, I will never think of Sally the same way because of how she made me feel. You can never take back how someone makes you feel. So I try to make sure that the kids understand that when we engage with the books and everything. But yeah, their kids are great. They have so many wonderful things to say, and they do learn a lot from our program.
Now, you're a mother yourself. What have your kids had to say about all of this amazing mission? They saw you injured, and I'm sure they were scared. And then,
Yeah.
where you are now, what has their journey been like?
Yeah, my youngest is 21 now, and my middle is 23, and my oldest is 28. They all are so supportive of the organization and really believe in what we're doing. They all have faced, as we all do, we all face these ugly challenges when we're, growing and going through school. And I think that because Text Pledge resonates so much with some of the things that students are dealing with in the public school setting or the private school setting, even they really feel that it's so needed and it's needed in society to help protect the kids just a little bit more. But yeah, it's really cool that the kids get to take a text pledge and know now that, hey, I'm going to rise up and I'm going to show you some tools.
there's something important about taking a pledge. I like that you have that component in it, that they are standing up and owning part of this as their identity. Have you seen that kind of help transform people's engagement with this?
Yeah, one thing that I love is when the students give us feedback and they share with us something that they didn't know prior to being involved with the program. That warms my heart. And
Yeah.
in knowing that they can just keep moving forward and then they can provide their friends or their loved ones with resources that they might need. So everything on our website under the teacher resources is free. So if a teacher were to want to download a second grade activity book on cyberbullying and bullying or violence, it's there. We try to make sure that all of our resources are free to as many people as possible. So
Wow.
yeah, it is really rewarding. I look back at that time as God just told me, like, hey, help do something about it. Don't sit around. If you can, try to be a solution to a problem.
Yeah, I mean, you experienced a significant problem, then you looked at not just that problem, but the whole world of problems, gave people information and teach people skills for recognition and education. And I'm really, I mean, that's all incredible enough, but weaving those mental health components, those resilience tools, because we want to heal the nation and the world, but part of that comes from healing as individuals. And you've mentioned gratitude and community. What other kind of resilience tools should we be teaching our children?
Yeah, so as little kids, they can be so fast forward. I gotta get this, do this, what's next? Da, 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 da. So yeah, the gratitude, I encourage students to take 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes at night. Focus on your gratitude and then focus on your goals. What goals do you want to get done for the day? And write those down because when you're writing those down, you're really helping your brain remember and say, instead of being online or scrolling or playing the next video game or whatever it is, that you want to get these tasks done for the day. So that is one really good tool. But another great tool is at the end of the day, write down all of those things that you got done. Because when you're giving yourself some satisfaction of saying, oh, I did that, I did that, I did that, it really helps you center yourself and say, okay, I can do these things and I can still move forward. Because we can sit in front of the TV or social media and scroll, and we can sit and do that so much. But if we're not focusing in on our self goals, our self care, those things are so important and crucial in life.
Oh, it's incredible. And I'm not going to lie, as somebody who makes to-do lists, I will sometimes add something on that I've already finished just so I can check it off. It's incredibly satisfying, right? It's just that
Yes.
little like check I did something. And each one of those, like you said, it moves the needle forward. It strengthens that neural pathway that I can do this.
Yes, yes. And just knowing that you can, that higher level of energy is really important, that you're still trying to manifest that. I really feel that is so important because we can live in these levels of energy. There's negative and there's positive. And the more positive that you are, the better your outlook is going to be. I really could have sat in that negative state and the woe is me state of I'm never going to get better. I'm never going to get through this. I'm never going to be the same person that I was. And that is true to a fact. But I changed my mindset and I said, I'm going to get through this. I'm going to become a better person than who I was. And I really have. And so yes, sometimes your greatest challenge and your greatest yucky thing that you might go through can be something that will turn into something that's very rewarding over time.
It is, and that's the next level of resilience. Resilience is bouncing back to what you were before, but that stress growth is using that as a springboard to something even better.
Yes, yes. And never stopping. I think that we can always be in iterations of what can we do that's better? Or how can we get this or keep moving forward? With Text Pledge, we try to keep up with the ever-changing times. So, for instance, students above the fifth grade can learn about harsher topics that we don't incorporate into the young levels. So let's just say drug and alcohol use. Students are presented with opportunities for drug and alcohol use at young ages. And so important to educate them on that. It's also important to educate them on human trafficking, ethical AI usage. So our goal is to keep up with ever-changing times, to really just help students say, okay, this is good, this is not so good. Let's watch out for these dangers and still keep moving forward. Because if you are really trying to be in alignment with your assignment, you're going to do some really cool things.
Yes. And I like that you don't shy away from like things like human trafficking, which is another thing I'm very passionate about, because pretending it doesn't exist
Mm-mm.
doesn't make it go away.
No.
Have you gotten any pushback where anyone's like, oh, they're too young to hear this?
Yeah, so no, we have not. I actually am good
Good.
friends with an FBI agent who works on the front lines of human trafficking out west. And no, with Text Pledge, there are three ways to get involved with the program. And the one that we encourage is that all parents sign off on the engagement with us. They are able to look at all of the curriculum again on the website to say, yes, I want my student to understand and know. It's not our overall goal to just really push to get this into the education systems. It's really our goal to engage with the parents to help them understand too that there's some big issues going on. And really, it takes a universal effect, a universal approach.
Because the more people who do it, then it becomes our normal, it becomes part of our language.
It does.
And in particular, I noticed that you prize inclusiveness and diversity to make sure that, how do you do that to make sure that everybody is included and a part of it and so they're engaged?
Yeah, I was really important when looking at discrimination. That's one of the biggest things that our culture deals with. And it's not just a one nation thing, it's all over the world. And we look at just women's rights and black rights and how far we've come over the last decade. And now we look at race, religion, ethnicity, disability. All of those things are so important. We're not just part of one race, we're part of the human race. And if we can believe that as a culture, we're moving ahead so far. But, I know we have a long ways to go. Our goal is to incorporate all groups of all different races and levels and help them understand we're just all part of one race, the human race. You can identify with whatever you want to identify. You're not going to be accepted or disaccepted in any way with our organization. And we feel that, we should all be treated equally. When I was a young girl, I was diagnosed with an illness and it was very, very difficult. And I look at kids and adults with disabilities as a very, very fragile community, but they also need to be protected just a little bit more than what they have. And so I'm a big advocate for the disabled to really help them move forward. I believe so much in the Bible. That's not everyone, but there's a lot of scriptures that promise a better life for those that are weak and not so strong in this life. And we can only look forward to a better life as we move on.
Yeah. When you've really incorporated your resilience tools, you incorporate gratitude, you incorporate community, you incorporate inclusiveness, you incorporate your faith. And it's just, so it's created this thing. So you've got the website, you've got the workbooks on Amazon. For those of you who are watching on the video of this, you want to just hold that up for us?
Oh, yes, yes. So this is our ninth grade book.
And we'll put the link in the show notes for those of you who are driving. Please don't
Yes,
crash. Please don't be a
absolutely.
distracted driver.
Yeah, yeah. So each of our activity books are about 100 pages, except for the adult book, which is a little bit over 200 pages. They just help everyone understand here's the issues that the United States is dealing with, and here's what we can do to rectify them. We know text pledges is still, I always look at all organizations as we are in beta phase for quite some time. We know that it will take some time to help everyone's minds just adjust and say, okay, we can rise above these issues. We can become a better human race for everyone around us. I looked at the happiest country on earth the other day. I think it was like, it started with a B, Bangor or something like that. But they really do not have a lot of big issues in their country. And I thought, wow, wouldn't that be incredible for all of our world just to not have all these crazy issues, right? But yeah, our books are for the United States are on Amazon.com. We just got them on just within the last month. So
Congratulations.
thank
That's
you so much.
exciting.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Excellent. I know a lot of people, I'm a parent, I want my children to have this information. This just should be a natural part of what they know. So what is
Yeah.
the best place that parents, that educators, that community members can find you?
Yeah, so anyone can reach out to us at TextPledge, textpledge.us. If you'd like to get your school and on board, we love to engage with schools. So just send us a message and we can share with you everything that we've got cooked up for schools and organizations. If you're a parent and you just want to share with your kids, you can get our free resources on the website or you can buy our books at Amazon.
Fantastic. Naomi Riley, did you ever think that first time when you woke up after your head injury that you would become an influencer and a world changer?
No, not one bit at all.
That's so honest. Thank you for being vulnerable.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, this was fantastic. Truly, thank you for being here and helping us
Mhm.
to learn about how we can not just learn some statistics, we get to learn some tools for the world, tools for our own mental health, which is incredibly important. And I just thank you for the incredible work that you do.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Navigating Hope podcast. Before we dive into those 5 key takeaways from this episode, I'd like to share with you a valuable free resource, and it is the Smarter Goals worksheet. So if you're creating any goal, whether you're recovering from a traumatic injury, you want to help your family make text pledge, or do anything to communicate with and improve your community, setting goals is the best way to achieve it. So we've got a free link in the show notes. You can download this. You can use it for any goal setting thing. And remember to join us over at familycaregiverhope.com for all kinds of resources for anybody on that caregiving journey so we can support you. Now let's explore that inspiring conversation we had with Naomi Riley, brain injury survivor turned motivational speaker dedicated to mental health, education reform, and societal change. Here are your 5 key takeaways. Number 1, the journey from trauma to purpose. Naomi shared her life-altering experience surviving a traumatic brain injury after being hit by a distracted driver. Her recovery journey, filled with resilience and determination, became the foundation for her mission to create positive societal change. And you can turn your pain into purpose as well. Number 2, the importance of a support system. Naomi highlighted how critical her support system was during her recovery. From medical professionals to her faith-based community members, the people around her offered encouragement to help her move forward step by step. Number 3, gratitude and resilience tools. Naomi introduced gratitude as a daily practice, encouraging listeners to spend 5 minutes each morning and evening reflecting on what they're thankful for and setting achievable goals, like those smarter goals. This practice fosters positivity and helps build resilience over time. And number 4, through empowering the next generation. Through her initiative Text Pledge, Naomi educates students on issues like distracted driving, bullying, mental health, and discrimination. Her programs combine statistics, tools for action, and emotional intelligence training to create safer, more compassionate communities. And number 5, learning to rise above challenges. Naomi emphasized the importance of shifting the mindset from why me to what can I do with this? She shared how embracing her struggles as opportunities for growth led to a more purposeful and impactful life. She also values inclusiveness and diversity, and her work emphasizes the importance of addressing societal change, ensuring all voices are heard and valued. Her programs teach young people to navigate issues like discrimination and the culture of unity. Find more information about her in the show notes. Remember, resilience isn't just about bouncing back. It's about bouncing forward into a life with purpose and growth. Stay hopeful, stay determined, and as always, keep navigating your journey with hope. Thank you for tuning into Navigating Hope with me, Dr. Jaime Hope. It has been an honor to navigate the realms of health and wellness with you today. Remember, in the journey toward a healthier life, knowledge is your compass. If you enjoyed our time together, please share, like, and subscribe to Navigating Hope. Join us next week where we'll continue to empower your health journey, arming you with the wisdom to navigate life's challenges and keep the emergency room in your rearview mirror.